Hey, this is Adam Torres, and I'm here to tell you that it has never been easier to start your very own podcast. At Mission Matters, our goal is to amplify stories that matter. That means we want to help you start your podcast because your story matters. We can do this in 3 different ways. 1, join our podcast school and take a free or paid course. 2, visit our resources page where we've already figured out what you need, such as where to host your podcast. Or 3, heck, we can even do everything for you through our podcast agency, including editing for cheaper than you can do in-house. Oh, and no contract, services month to month. Get started by heading over to missionmatters.com and click on Start a Podcast. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Money Podcast, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Cynthia Dalagelis on the line, and she's an Impact Growth Advisor. Cynthia, welcome to the show.
Adam, thank you for having me.
All right, so Cynthia, so I'm excited to get into today's topic. So we're going to talk about impact investing and sustainability for investors and institutions. But before we get into that topic, let's go a little bit further into your background. So how did you get started in your career and in business?
Yeah, sure. So I've always been really passionate about people, and I've built my profession on technology and how to use technology products and develop them to better enhance the human experience. And what this means in practice is I've worked with a number of businesses within their marketing, growth, and development programs in order to figure out how we can best use tech-based solutions to address and hopefully solve existing challenges. With that, my career has touched on many different sectors and verticals, so everything from health tech to fintech to CPG brands, in addition to the media industry. But how I got to where I am today is completely nonlinear and actually kind of interesting.
Man, that's awesome. And I'll tell you, Cynthia, so part of the reason that I wanted you on the show and to talk about this is because you have a unique vantage point when it comes to impact investing and sustainability based on the different things you've done, whether it was media or otherwise. So let's just dive into today's topic. So impact investing, sustainability, hot topics, on a lot of people's minds. Where do you want to start with this one?
Yeah, so I'll kind of start at the beginning and explain how I got to this juncture because it's definitely a little bit of an unusual path and journey. So early in my career, I worked in financial services and I had a strong passion and trying to understand the metrics that made a business work. And that passion later became an understanding of how to use technology and growth strategies to contribute to the acceleration of that business and ultimately its profitability. I then became, unfortunately, an expert in all things digital. So how to develop a digital product, establish a brand, and successfully build and scale a business using technology. But where everything kind of changed was a pivotal moment for me when I was working for a microfinancing platform that created scalable work solutions between brands and the gig economy. For me, this was my first exposure to a creative business model that incorporated the upward mobility of a community as a key metric of success. So not only was it profitable on both sides of the marketplace, but everyone benefited mutually from the transaction. And for me, there was no turning back since then. I was hooked. It was the first experience of understanding that there was ways to invest and create an innovative business models that not only were profitable, but also good for communities and the environment. And this is what my career has focused on since. So to bring
That's
you to
So let's go further. So tell us more.
So my work is to connect and introduce capable and influential investors with investments and business opportunities focused on ESG, sustainability, and impact. And what's unique about the role that I play is in many cases, I work inside of those firms and organizations to help them create this strategy and truly ensure that it grows. I do this through utilizing my personal investor and entrepreneur network. In some cases, I ensure further funding and utilizing growth recommendations and tactics and even strategic partnerships. So it's been a really interesting turn of events in my career that I'm now using all of my finance, digital, and tech skills along with my passion for building profitable businesses in a way that has massive scalability and impact. I currently work with family offices, private equity groups, venture capital firms, sovereign wealth funds, and even large brands that are looking to take a proactive and forward-thinking approach to their investment and business practices. Truly, my mission and purpose is to help orchestrate the greatest amount of capital, resources, and awareness behind the businesses addressing some of the world's most urgent challenges and doing my part to aid in positive long-term change.
So tell us more about some of the issues that are going on in impact investing and sustainability.
Absolutely. So the practice of ESG, sustainability, and impact investing is a topic of much debate and analysis at the moment. So some people feel that incorporating these additional factors into business decisions and models dilute their ability to create returns and to grow a profitable business. But data and evidence proves that the truth is quite the opposite, and that businesses have incorporated these additional factors, have faced the current global health and economic crisis with a greater degree of resiliency than those that have not taken them into consideration. So not only do they make sense for communities and the environment, but they make sense for the bottom line. So understanding, layering ESG measurement, responsible finance, and impact-based investments into my network and helping to advocate for these type of investments and systems has been a key focus for me. And much to your question, a lot of this is being guided by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So what these are a set of global focus areas that are part of a plan to eradicate extreme poverty, address climate change, and truly take responsibility for the care of the planet. And while unfortunately not every member of my network works within this framework, they're a really great baseline and guide for a focus area that can collectively create and generate the greatest amount of systemic change.
So what kind of feedback have you heard? So I mean, I know you work with large companies, you work with high net worth, ultra high net worth individuals. I mean, what kind of feedback have you received on some of the projects you've worked on?
Yeah, so it's funny. It's, as I noted before, there's absolutely still a learning curve within this specific area of focus. And I think the most gratifying thing for me to date has been when you really prove someone who is a naysayer wrong, and not in a aggressive way, but when they come to terms with realizing that they don't have to sacrifice their personal morals or the things that they care about in order to run a profitable or scalable business. The most exciting feedback that I've gotten so far is that you really see people's eyes light up once they're understanding a specific investment and they look at the outlook and they see what the potential returns are, or they see what the existing returns are, in addition to those other layers of sustainability and impact, and they see what a fantastic job that business or organization is doing. I feel like they have the same aha moment that I had in my career, where I realized there's no looking back and there's no ability to unsee the capability of something like this to work once you realize that it does work.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And I know in the past, one of the things that we thought about when we thought about impact investing or ESG sustainability, when we think about these things, there was always this concept of it was only for do-gooders and it was only for people that wanted to save the world, which is fine. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I hope it's good. We all live on this planet. But now I feel like big companies are starting to wake up, and they have been as of late, and to understand that there isn't that trade-off, and that it can be good business to think about the entire supply chain and how and how even their products are being disposed of.
Absolutely. And not only are they noticing, but I think they're working aggressively towards quickly shifting. I partner with some of the largest institutions in the world, and I've seen in the past few years them really scrambling to put together departments that are completely focused on sustainability and ESG. And the reason is it's kind of a bottom-up approach at the moment, where you have investors asking banks and institutions for these type of products. And in some cases, they don't have them, or they don't have the knowledge or the accessibility or the complete scope of opportunities that appeal to that particular investor. I think if you want to take it a step even further, we see that communities and societies are demanding change, and they're demanding responsibility throughout institutions and from brands and companies that they support. So I think that, to your point, it's a huge shift, and I think it's an exciting time to work in this area, and I'm really grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah, definitely. And people are voting with their dollars. That's the way I like to look at it. If we want to keep seeing change and we want to keep seeing things change for the better, then keep voting with your dollars. That's what I tell people. So I love it. I think it's a great work what you're doing, and I'm a big fan of people that are working in that space. So that being said, Cynthia, I can talk to you about this all day long, first of all. I'm a big fan of this stuff. But that being said, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information about working with you and your team, I mean, what's the best way for them to follow up and to connect?
Yeah, absolutely. I can share my personal website, which is www.myfirstandlastname.com, which I'm sure is easier for them to read than it is for me to spell. The other option is just finding me on LinkedIn. It's Cynthia Dalagelis. And I will add to that point, I would encourage anyone who's passionate about sustainability or ESG to research and do diligence on the products and businesses that they support with their purchasing power, because every dollar you put into a product or a business is a vote for the world that you want to live in. So the more we're conscious of the things that we're surrounding ourselves, the better change that we can create.
Fantastic. Well, Cynthia, it's been awesome having you on the show today. Wishing you more continued success, and I love having people like you out there fighting this fight. So I think it's awesome. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review in the Apple iTunes store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Money, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments on the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Cynthia, thanks again for coming on the show.
Adam, thank you so much. Let's talk again soon.